Hello! So today's story is coming from Daniel 3. So here's our picture for Daniel 3, and we'll get right into it. So a long time ago, there was this place called Babylon, and Babylon had a king named Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar and Babylon won a ton of battles, and some of these battles were against Israel and Judah. So the Jews were God's people. And when Nebuchadnezzar won, he brought the smartest and the strongest, the best from them to serve him, work in Babylon, stuff like that. So now 3 of these guys were named Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. But when they came to Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar and his people gave them all new Babylonian names. So they ended up being called Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, a bunch of stuff happened to the 3 of them and their friend Daniel that we're not going to get into right now. That's a whole nother story. But regardless, Nebuchadnezzar was not a very good person. He didn't really care about God. And he made some really bad rules and kind of evil rules. And he expected people to follow them. So one day, he decided he was going to have this giant golden statue made. And you might hear idol or image. Basically, he made a giant golden fake god. So it was massive. I imagine it was towering over stuff. It was probably super shiny. Maybe it was it would blind you if you turned the corner near it and the sun was hitting it, just got in your eyes, But he made this giant fake god, and he made this rule that there would be this music that would play, maybe flutes, and I think lyres or something. This really pretty music would play at random times in the days. And anytime people heard this music, it didn't matter where they were, it didn't matter what they were doing, they had to stop what they were doing, and they had to bow down and worship the statue, worship the image. It didn't matter what they were doing, didn't matter where they were. And if they didn't bow down, if they didn't worship, then Nebuchadnezzar would have them thrown into this furnace, so he would have them thrown into fire and killed. So pretty serious. And this was a really bad rule, obviously, but he was the king, and people followed this rule. So, music would play, they'd have the flutes going, strumming, whatever, they'd have all the instruments going, have the whole band out. And people would stop what they were doing. It's oh, statue! Oh, yes! What a wonderful statue! What an amazing image! Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it looks like to worship a statue. That's my service level image of what that probably is. So regardless, they were worshiping the statue. They were bowing down to it every time they heard the music play. All over Babylon. If they could hear the music, they would bow down to the statue. I imagine Nebuchadnezzar was probably kind of pleased. Hey, this is entertaining to watch. I should make rules like this more often. But then some of his people came in and hey, your majesty. So there are some of these Jews, the people from Israel and Judah. Some of them Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Yeah, they're not bowing down to your statue. They just refuse to bow. They will not worship this image that you've made. They won't worship this God that you've made. They won't do this. What do you want us to do about that? Because they're not listening to you. And Nebuchadnezzar's I'll tell you what we're going to do about it. You're going to bring them to me, and I'm going to deal with them. That's what we're going to do. So go bring them to me. So Nebuchadnezzar's men went, and they brought Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to him. And Nebuchadnezzar's so I heard a rumor about you. Oh, I heard a rumor that you are not following my rules, that you aren't bowing down and worshiping my image that I made, this beautiful giant golden image. Why aren't you doing that? You're supposed to be doing that. It's a law. I don't know why you think you don't have to follow the king's laws. I don't know why you think you don't have to listen to me. But out of the kindness of my heart, I will give you one more chance. When you're ready, if you're ready when the music plays, and you bow down and you worship the statue, then we're all good. You can walk away. We'll be all good. You'll have really irritated me, but you won't die. You can live. Just bow down and worship the statue. But if you don't bow down, if you don't worship it, then I'm going to have you thrown in that furnace. And I don't know of any God that can save you from me. So those are your 2 options, guys. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were We don't have to answer to you, man. Like, our God can save us. We believe that our God can save us. So, one, there is a God who can save. It's our God. Thank you, sir. And two, even if he doesn't save us, we're not going to bow down to this image that you've made, this false God that you've made, because that's wrong. We're not going to do that. So do what you want with us. We are not going to follow your rule. Like, it's not happening. And Nebuchadnezzar got so mad. Like, he was fuming, probably had steam coming out of his ears. He was so mad. And he's like, you know what? He looked at his men. He's like, make the fire, make that furnace 7 times hotter. Make it so much hotter so there's no possible way they can survive that. Because I am so mad at these guys right now. Like, make it awful. Make it so hot. And they obeyed. And they made that furnace 7 times hotter. And then they tied up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So they couldn't move, at least not much. And they threw them into the fire. And the fire was so hot that the guys throwing them in, so Nebuchadnezzar's guys, it was so hot that they died from the fire. Like, they weren't even in the fire. They were just next to it. It was so hot that they died. And, threw the 3 guys in there, and I imagine Nebuchadnezzar just like, that's why you don't mess with me. This is what happens, bro. And then all of a sudden he gets up, he's like, wait, hey guys, math pop quiz. Oh, I'm not good at math. Yes, your majesty, what is the question? How many men did we throw into that fire, guys? Shadrach, Meshach, 3, your majesty. We threw 3 into the fire, 3 men. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah, good. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, good. So why are there 4 men in that fire? Look, count. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're like, what? Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Who's the 4th guy? I don't know. We only threw 3 in, sir. I promise we only threw 3 in. He's like, I know you only threw 3 in. So how are there 4 men in there? One of them looks like the son of a god or something. Like, who is the 4th guy? And he calls into the fire. He's like, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come back out here, guys. Come out of the fire. And they do. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walk out of the fire. The 4th guy doesn't walk out with them, just the 3. And they walk out, and their hair isn't burnt, and their clothes aren't burnt, and their skin isn't burnt, and they don't even smell like smoke. Like, there is no evidence, no proof that they were anywhere near a fire, let alone in one. Like, there's no proof. They are perfectly fine. And Nebuchadnezzar is kind of checking. He's like, you're good. Like, you're okay. You're alive. How are you alive? Your God saved you. I didn't know any God could do anything like this. Your God is clearly the most high God. He's the best God ever. He's the only one who could have saved you from me. And he told everyone of Babylon, he's like, anyone who says one bad thing about the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, so the one true God, anyone who says anything bad about him is going to have to deal with me. They're going to be in so much trouble because this God is legit. He is clearly the best God. He is the one true God. He's the most high. He's the best. So quite a huge change from the beginning of this chapter where he's like, I'm going to make my own God and everyone is going to bow down to it. Now he's like, if you say anything bad about the God of the Jews, you're going to deal with me because we're going to have a problem. So yeah, and a lot of people believe that the 4th man in the fire was probably Jesus. It might have been an angel, but a lot of people think Jesus. So like the son of a god or son of God, So that's what a lot of people believe, that Jesus was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which is pretty cool when you think about it. So now that we've had our story, let's talk about some things that we can learn from this. So 1, God can and does save people. He likes to help people. He's a good and loving God. He wants to help people, and he can save. 2, God is with us even when life is really hard, and even when bad things happen, God is always with us, and he always cares about us. 3, we should trust God no matter what happens, even if things are really bad, and maybe God doesn't stop a bad thing from happening. Like, if something scary happens, or maybe God doesn't help us like how we thought he would, or maybe, whatever it may be. Even if life is hard, we can always trust God, because again, God cares about us and God can save, and he wants to help people. He wants things to be good and right again. And bad things will still happen, life will still be hard, but God cares and we can trust him. We can trust that he knows best and that he cares about us and he's taking care of us no matter what. 4, it's better to stick with God and to listen to God even when it's dangerous. So yeah, it's just best to listen to God, because God is more powerful than anyone who might tell you not to follow God. So it's better to follow God even when it's a little scary for us. And then 5, God can use anything to lead people to him, to lead people to see him and to know him and to learn about him and to honor him. Because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego probably didn't want to get thrown into the fire, but I bet a lot of people learned about God because that happened. So God can use anything, good and bad, to make good things happen. And that's really cool and really important to know. So now we'll go ahead and pray. So God, thank you so much for stories like this. Thank you that you are always with us, and please help us to never forget that. Thank you so much that you protect people and you care about people. Thank you that you see us even when life is really hard. And I pray that you'll be with us always, that you'll give us peace when life gets hard and when bad things happen, and that we'll always remember that you're with us, and we'll never forget that, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Bye-bye.